Hey, guess what's happening on this week's episode of the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with your friend and host, Oscar Camejo.
If you've ever struggled and grappled with your weight, even dealing with your blood sugar concerns, maybe you are tired of going up and down the roller coaster of medications. Maybe you're taking high blood pressure medication, high cholesterol medication, and on top of that, you're taking type 2 diabetes medication. I want you to join me in this week's episode because I talk about what may be impacting your health the most when it comes to losing weight, controlling your blood sugar, and the need to even take high blood pressure and diabetes medication on top of that high cholesterol medication. Yes, that's right. I'm talking about sugary drinks and the connection. Folks, we've all been there. We've been struggling with our weight, struggling to maintain a healthy weight, but it's been an issue. Struggling to control our blood sugar levels, but it's like, man, my numbers are going up and it seems like nothing is changing. If that's you, I know I've been there myself. But guess what? By the end of today's episode, you're going to walk away with insight into the impact that liquid calories may be having on your health. You're going to also receive some deeper understanding of the hidden risk behind sugary drinks. That's right. That sugary substance that we all like, whether it's fruit juices, soda, sports drinks, lemonade, sweet teas, you name it. Hopefully my journey will inspire you to turn things around just like it did for me. So, hey, grab some water and get ready to tackle those pain points that you've been dealing with head on. Let's go. Be sure to visit the website at www.beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com for access to free resources and other information that will help you along your journey. If you would like to submit a question or a comment about the show or to learn more about the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle, you can always email me at hello@beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Welcome to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with me, your host, Oscar Camejo, helping diabetics make lifestyle changes to reverse type 2 diabetes. Folks, I want to talk to you today about a very important topic that's near and dear to my heart. Nutrition, specifically the stuff that we're putting in our bodies by way of drinks. That's right. Now, before we get started, I have some homework for you. I want you to pause this episode. When you have a moment, grab a bottle of your favorite drink. It could be a soda. It could be a sports drink. It could be a fruit juice, whatever you may have in your cabinet or refrigerator. And I want you to go and look at the nutrition label on the back of that package. Forget about the front. Ignore what's on the front. Because, my friends, what's on the front is just to get you to buy the product. And you've already done that, right? It's all about marketing. It's all about enticing you to buy the package. But let's look at the nutrition facts label on the back of that package. Now, I don't want you to get caught up in the calories. Calories are important. You know, the number of calories per serving, all of that. What I really want you to focus in on is the total sugars that's included in that package. Now, total sugars also includes added sugars. You may see where it says underneath total sugars, it may say added sugars or additional sugars and so forth. My goal is to help you to understand the importance of taking in less sugar in your drinks. It's easy to overlook the impact our choices may be having on our health, especially when it comes to what we drink. You know, that was me. I used to be guilty of reaching for sugary drinks like soda, sweet tea, lemonades, iced tea, you name it, without even giving it a second thought. Going to the grocery store and going through the checkout line, I would always grab some candy and my favorite soda, whether it's Pepsi or it could have been a Fanta, you name it. I had to grab something like soda. But when I decided to finally take my health serious enough, folks, everything changed for me. So now back to that label on the back of your soda, whether it's your 2 liter or your 12-ounce can or your 16 ounces of soda, it doesn't matter. Now, folks, listen, sugar, I'm not trying to demonize sugar. I'm not saying you should completely eliminate sugar from your diet. No, what I want you to do is really look at the value or the lack thereof that you may be getting from these sugary drinks that you're drinking. If you find yourself like me, I would always have a sugary drink with my dinner, or in the morning, orange juice or grape juice or something like that. I'm not talking about fresh squeeze. I'm talking about straight up store bought in the plastic bottles or glass containers, or even worse, the boxed juices. I used to even put, pineapple juice in my smoothies, folks, until I realized the sugar content. I got educated a long time ago on the importance of paying attention to the sugar content in my drinks and stuff that I was putting in my body. You see, folks, it's so easy for us to overlook, as I mentioned before. It would just go day in and day out. We have the habit of, let's say, buying table sugar and putting it in our coffees and putting it in our lemonades and sweet teas, and we don't even think about it. And that you may not be realizing it. Like for me, I didn't realize that I was putting on so many pounds simply because I was taking in too much sugar. I'm not talking about just the donuts and the cookies, the cakes and pies and stuff like that. I wasn't eating cookies and pies every day. I wasn't eating, certain foods every day. But what I was eating or taking in every day was a lot of sugary drinks. I mean, all the time. I would drink more soda or sweet tea than I was drinking water. And no wonder why I ballooned up to 268 pounds in a short period of time, folks. You see, it was a routine and I didn't realize it. What about you? In your refrigerator right now, how much soda do you have? How much fruit juice do you have? How many sports drinks do you have? Do you have a bunch of sports drinks because it's like, hey, this is going to give me energy when I go out to walk and I go out to the gym? Listen, folks, we don't need soda. We don't need fruit juices. And we definitely don't need sports drinks to really find the energy that we need to make it through an exercise or even to make it through the morning. You ever wonder why in the morning, let's say after you've gotten to work, you've reached work, or if you're working from home, you start working and so forth. And then by mid-morning, you're already sluggish. You're already tired. Could it be that you've consumed so much sugar by way of carbs, and liquid calories that you have this blood sugar spike early in the morning when you're getting ready for work? Then by the time you get to work and you start working, that you're coming down off that sugar rush, that sugar high, and then you start feeling sluggish. And 9 times out of 10, like I used to, I would go to the vending machine and get what? A soda, because I needed a quote unquote pick me up. For you, it may be another cup of coffee because you've already had a cup of coffee early in the morning and you just needed your regular pick me up. It was tough for me to let go of the sugary drinks. It was my routine, like I mentioned to you, every meal, a soda or sweet tea or lemonade. In the afternoons, sometimes after lunch, again, I would go back to the vending machine, get something else to drink. And I felt satisfied, quote unquote, for a short period of time. But guess what? I was hungrier. So that made me want to snack more. And when I got a snack, guess what? I was thirsty and I would always go back for more soda. Now you may say, well, Oscar, I don't drink soda. I'm good. But I want you to pull back and see, what about other sugary drinks that you may be having? You see, if you're struggling with your weight, if you're checking your blood sugar for those who are diabetics, and you're noticing that, man, my numbers seem to be going up. I'm not eating any donuts. I'm not eating a lot of bread. I'm not eating a bunch of rice. But what about the sugary drinks that you may not have given up, that you may still be consuming on a regular basis? That's something to really keep in mind. I've shared this before, but it was an encounter that I had at a grocery store with this gentleman who really helped me to shift my mind when it came to excess sugar and the impact that sugar was having on my health. He taught me to read nutrition labels. He helped me to get an understanding of the difference between natural sugars and artificial sweeteners. That 20-minute conversation changed my life, folks. Man, I'm telling you, I wish I could find that gentleman and let him see the progress that I've made since then and how what he taught me really impacted my life for good. So, are sugary drinks really as harmless as they seem? Well, guess what? It turns out that the 32-ounce meal replacement smoothie that I used to enjoy back in the day, it was loaded with a bunch of sugar. I mean, the equivalent of 3 cans of soda in one sitting. And I've shared this before. But for those of you who are new to the podcast, listen, you may be saying, hey, Oscar, I want to drink more smoothies and not have any food. So I usually stop at the famous smoothie place and get a smoothie. Or at my gym, I have them to make me a smoothie. But guess what? If you're not paying attention to what's in the smoothies, I'm talking about by way of ingredients and so forth, you may be thinking that you're getting real fruit when it's actually syrup, that tastes like fruit, whether it's strawberry, chocolate, and some of these other things that they put in your drinks, berries that are really not berries, is just sugary syrups that they mimic the taste of strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and so forth. And it just basically is a sugar bomb every time that you're drinking one of these smoothies. So again, for me, the 32-ounce meal replacement that I thought I was doing good by drinking, man, it was the equivalent of 3 cans of soda, which was ridiculous. And so I just stopped. And then I noticed that my weight started dropping. Yes, I was already starting to eat vegetables, lots of fruit and so forth, and not eating out as much, not eating rice, breads, potatoes. But it was the liquid calories, folks, that really, in my opinion, changed the game for me. When I realized that liquid calories that come from these sugary drinks aren't worth the potential health risk that I was dealing with, I mean, that was it. It was game over for all of that stuff. So liquid calories, going back to the nutrition labels. Yes, you can look at the calorie count, but I don't want you to stop there. Again, look at the total sugars. Now, let's say the drink that you have says 12 grams of total sugars. And then underneath that, it says additional sugars. If it also says 12 grams, then that tells you that is 100%, that the sugars is 100% artificial or added sugars. Again, let me use round numbers. Let's say if the drink says 10 grams of total sugars. Well, how many of those total sugars are added sugars? Now, if the added sugars say 10, again, that tells you that all of the sugars in that drink are artificial or added sugars, things that they add to that drink to give it its taste. Now let's take our round number 10 again. If your total sugars are 10, but then the added sugars are only like 2 grams. So that tells you that only 2 grams of the total sugars are artificial, and the other 8 grams are natural sugars, naturally occurring sugars from the fruit or what have you, that was used to process that and create that drink. You get what I'm saying? So again, pay attention to the total sugars. Now, here's my advice. If you have a drink that is your favorite drink and you want to decide, and I'm talking about sugary drinks, soda, lemonade, sweet teas, and so forth, and these are store-bought, and you're like, okay, Oscar, I want to reduce my sugar intake. I personally recommend that you go for drinks that have less than 5 grams of added sugars. Even better, if you can find something that has 0 added sugars, that's 0 sweeteners, 0 artificial sweeteners, and things that mimic the taste of sweetness, the better. Again, go for 0 when it comes to added sugars. Now, even better, if you can find something, a product, when it comes to your total sugars, find a product that has very minimal amount of total sugars. And for me, minimal, it could be relative. For me, I try not to touch anything that has more than 5 grams of total sugars in the package. Now, mind you, I don't drink soda anymore. I don't drink sweet teas. I don't buy fruit juices anymore. I don't do the lemonades from the stores. None of that. Pay attention to the total sugars. I recommend that you go for a product that has very minimal total sugars. So keep that in mind, and 0 added sugars. That's a good starting point for a lot of you guys, if you're not ready to totally give up your drinks. Now you may say, okay, Oscar, what about the 0 calorie, 0 sugar sodas, like the Coke Zeros and the Sprite Zeros and so forth? If you must have a soda, I think those are better options in terms of minimal sugar content in those drinks. Now, keep in mind, they still have artificial sweeteners in them. That's what gives them their taste. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Those drinks do still have sweeteners. It's just the amount of sweeteners and the quality of the sweeteners and so forth. But at the end of the day, I came to the realization that I didn't need any of those drinks, because the more and more I start studying nutrition and giving my body the essential nutrients that it needs, guess what? Sugary drinks play no part in giving my body what it needs, because I'm not getting any vitamins from it. I'm not getting any minerals from it. Yeah, I know some of the fruit juices, like the grape juices, says, great source of vitamin C. Well, so is just eating whole grapes. If you like orange juice and the thing says packed with vitamin C, well, sometimes they pump vitamins in these drinks and they give you very minimal, and they can easily say, again, on the marketing package on the front, it's easy for them to make a claim that it's called a structure claim, that, hey, it's loaded with vitamin C, which helps support immune system and all that other stuff. So it's up to you folks. I just simply don't recommend that you consume sugary drinks because you don't need it. Now, let's talk more about liquid calories. Research does support the idea that getting sugar in liquid form may be worse than getting it from solid food. So again, remember when I was talking about eating grapes versus drinking grape juice, or having oranges versus orange juice? Now, you may say, well, Oscar, are you saying that we should never drink orange juice? Listen, get yourself a juicer and start juicing your own oranges at home. Yeah, I know it takes a lot of time. I know it takes a bunch of oranges just to get one glass of orange juice. But guess what, folks? it is worth it. It is worth you making your own juices at home for all kinds of benefits. Listen, sugary beverages like soda and certain smoothies are on the top list of things you should avoid putting in your body. I'm telling you, folks, you don't need these sugary beverages. I want you to find alternatives. Now, here's some things that I want you to understand about sugary drinks, specifically liquid calories. Let's talk about liquid calories in the form of sugary drinks. Sugary drinks do not make you feel full, at least not full for very long, and they are strongly linked to weight gain. Large amounts of sugar are turned into fat in your liver, folks. Sugar drastically increases belly fat accumulation. Sugary sodas may lead to insulin resistance, which in turn can possibly lead to the development of prediabetes and in some cases, type 2 diabetes. Sugary soda contains little to no essential nutrients. Like I said before, there's no health benefits to soda. Sugary sodas and these sugary drinks can be addictive. Not in everybody's situation, but it can be addictive for some people. Listen, sugar and the acids in the sugary sodas may even impact your dental health, folks. That's something to consider. Now, all the stuff that I'm telling you, you can research it for yourself and find out. Now, for diabetics specifically, keeping your eye on your blood sugar level is a daily concern. It's critical. We have to pay attention to make sure our blood levels are regulated, to make sure they're not getting up too high, we're not experiencing a bunch of sugar spikes. And definitely we don't want our sugar levels to go low and get into hypoglycemia, because that's not a good thing, folks. Liquid sugars and liquid calories specifically can lead to elevated blood sugar levels and insulin resistance, as I alluded to earlier. A lot of these fruit juices contain what's called high fructose corn syrup, and it's found in many sodas as well. High fructose corn syrup has been linked to a decrease in insulin sensitivity. Basically, your body produces insulin to help absorb glucose or blood sugar out of your bloodstream and send the glucose to your cells, which can then turn that glucose into energy, because you need energy. Our bodies need glucose. There's nothing wrong with glucose. What happens though is when we get to a point where where our bodies are no longer sensitive to insulin, and that's what leads to prediabetes, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. So just keep that in mind. I decided to cut out sodas, lemonades, sweet teas, fruit juices, and sport drinks because they were not helping me to reach my health goals, bottom line. And let me tell you, it made a significant difference in my life when I started becoming wise to the things that I was putting in my body. Folks, I was able to lose over 80 pounds in less than a year. And then eventually my doctor cleared me and said, hey, you no longer need to take medications for diabetes, high blood pressure, and cholesterol. My numbers went back to normal, folks. I still go to the doctor regularly. I go to my regular checkups. We do blood work, and my numbers have been normal for well over 2 years, folks. My health has improved. And I'm telling you, I contribute my success to a simple decision, and that was to cut out liquid calories. It made a big difference. So listen, the next time you're tempted to reach for that can of soda, I want you to think twice. When you go to the store, soda does not have to be on your shopping list. When you go to the gas station to pump gas, soda and these sports drinks do not have to be a part of your purchase. Just get yourself some water and hydrate yourself the proper way. Your body needs hydration. Water is considered an essential nutrient. How much of that essential nutrient are you giving your body on a regular basis? You see, sodas, they have empty calories. Basically, calories that are not giving your body what it needs. It's impacting your weight. I'm telling you, it's going to impact your blood sugar. It's going to impact your overall health negatively. Now, I know a lot of folks don't like to hear, well, you need to eliminate this and you need to eliminate that. But folks, trust me, it's the small changes that we make that make a world of difference when it comes to our journey towards beating type 2 diabetes. I want you to start choosing water, folks. Refresh your body and make a health conscious decision that, you know what, enough is enough. If I truly want to live diabetes free, it's possible. If you've been diagnosed with pre-diabetes and you want to turn things around, it's possible. Now imagine if I had decided that, you know what, man, I just really love soda. I just really love lemonade and sweet teas. And you know what, I'm still going to drink it. I'll just focus on other things. I believe, folks, I would still be struggling with my weight to this day. Folks, I am roughly 188 pounds now. When I started my health journey, I was 268 pounds. And I'm telling you, I was struggling like many of you to lose weight. I was struggling, man. And it wasn't until I wised up. It wasn't, oh, I needed to go to the gym every day and that was going to be the key to me losing weight. No, that was just one tool in the tool bag. It wasn't just cutting out rice. That was just one tool in the tool bag. Just like sugary drinks and eliminating sugary drinks from your diet. That's only one tool in the tool bag, but it's a major one. It's a very important one. Now, the harsh reality is I know some folks hear about eliminating this and eliminating that. And it's so hard, Oscar. It's so hard. Listen, like I said earlier, it's the small steps. It's the small changes that make a big difference. So today, folks, I want you to take inventory. What's in your refrigerator? What's in your cupboard? What's in your car? What's in your desk at work? If you have sugary drinks, if you have sodas, sweet teas, lemonades, get rid of them. You don't need it. Now, you may say, okay, Oscar, well, that's easier said than done. I mean, you're healthy. Folks, I remember what I said before. I was 268 pounds. I didn't stop overnight. I didn't stop drinking soda overnight. It took some time. But what I did do was decide to drink more water. I used to say, man, I hate drinking water. Water has no taste. Water is boring. Well, I had to get over that excuse real quick. So I started cutting up some lime and lemons and putting it in my water to give it some flavor. I had to do what I had to do, man, because I was serious about, getting more water. I needed to be more hydrated because I know what it felt like being dehydrated. And being dehydrated is not good for the body at all. It affects your sleep. It affects your speech. It affects your cognition, your thinking, having a lot of brain fog and stuff like that. So I would drink more water, folks, if I were you. Take it for what it's worth. So hopefully this episode has been a blessing to you. Thank you again for tuning into this week's episode of the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast. And as always, folks, stay focused, keep moving, never go back, leap forward, bounce back because you can, my friend. And above all else, trust God. You got this. I believe in you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with Oscar Camejo. We hope you enjoyed this episode. As a reminder, this podcast is intended for motivational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional care by a physician or other healthcare professional or qualified fitness instructor. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or professional advice or services. If you're looking for help on your journey, seek a qualified medical practitioner. It's important that you utilize someone who is a trained, licensed healthcare professional who can help you on your journey toward good health.